Hey everybody, it's Daryl with D&D Realty. Hey, I've been working a lot recently with folks looking at new construction homes, so I just wanted to give you a few tips today about what the difference is between buying new construction versus existing. So number one, I know if you're like me, you really enjoy going out looking at new homes that are in the area. They have all the new bells and whistles, all the fancy things, all the energy efficient features that maybe your home doesn't have today, or maybe an existing home doesn't. So when you're out going looking at models, I just want to encourage you, take your agent with you. And if your agent's not available, make sure you register with that home builder your agent's name and number. They do not like you to bring an agent in at the end. Remember, the salesperson is going to have all the answers, but they represent the builder. Doesn't mean they're a bad person. It means they represent the builder's best interest. You want someone on their side, and that's what a realtor's there for, to represent your best interests. There's no cost for using an agent on buying new construction. You won't get a better deal, a lower price. It's already built into the marketing dollar, so just keep that in mind. Now, when you're building new construction, this is bullet point number two. You're going to have some different costs associated with it. Usually, when you're buying an existing home, you've already got blinds built in. Typically, the seller pays for your title insurance. That's typically not the case in new construction. Typically, there's a survey available in existing new construction. There's not, so that's another additional cost just to think of. Those are things to keep in mind. And when the other thing, when you're driving and you're seeing these home builders, they'll have signs that say, "Hey, home starting at the 250." And you're walking in to the model, everything's 300 plus. That's because what they're advertising is the smallest home on the least desirable lot in the area. So keep that in mind when you go and see the inventory homes or the model. They've got all the upgrades. Typically, they're going to be put on the nicer lots. And say that there's a lot next to a greenbelt, there may be a premium. Or if the home's not behind another home, it's in a cul-de-sac, there may be a premium for that lot. So those are some additional costs. Paying a little extra for the lot may be beneficial. You don't want to back up to a commercial area or a busy road. But many times there's no lot premium if your home just backs up to another home in the neighborhood. That's not necessarily a negative. It's just not as nice of a location in the neighborhood. So the third point I want to go over with, there's construction options and cosmetic options. What I mean by construction options, or say that you're thinking maybe down the road we're going to want 4 bedrooms, but the 3 bedrooms a little cheaper, maybe we can wait. Go ahead and build with that 4th bedroom or bonus room, such as maybe a study, maybe a media room or game room, or say an extended patio. That may be a good option for you. Or say that you want some plugs in different areas, some electrical features. Go ahead and do that while it's being built. It's a whole lot cheaper and easier. Also, if you're going to spend money to upgrade things while you're building, spend the money in the kitchen and the master bathroom. That's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. Also the most expensive to go in and modify after the fact. Now, cosmetic options are things such as maybe a higher level granite, maybe different flooring options. When you go to the design center, you're going to be really excited. It's super easy to get too much on your plate. Go with the budget in mind, keep that in mind. And some things that you may be able to do later, or say things like in the high traffic areas, do carpet for now, and then go choose a high quality luxury vinyl plank later. Talk to your builder and see. Talk to contractors and get some idea of what that may cost after the fact. Many times you'll find the builder's options are quite a bit more expensive, so something to keep in mind. Number three, we're going to talk about what can you negotiate on? Well, typically you're not going to be able to negotiate on that base price because the builder can't really move on that base price because all the other homes in the neighborhood, their appraisals are going to depend on that. You may be able to negotiate on things like, say, maybe getting gutters added or maybe blinds thrown in, maybe a few things like that. Maybe some lower cost on if you go pick a package of upgrades. So just something to think about. Number four, there are some closing costs that may be different, as I mentioned before. Surveys, title insurance. A lot of times when you choose the builder's lender, they'll typically pay for surveys here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Or not surveys, title insurance. Sometimes you can get them to throw in money for surveys. Maybe some additional money for closing cost. Right now, with prices rising as quickly as they have been, those lumber prices rising, they've stopped down a little bit on some of the concessions. But that's something your agent's there for when you're negotiating that contract. See if they can get some of that thrown in for you. Number five, you're definitely going to want to get an inspection, and I suggest a phased inspection. What I mean by that is hire someone. It'll cost you a few $100s. Have lenders that do, or inspectors that do these. Someone to come in when that foundation is getting ready to be poured, when the rough plumbing's put in, have an inspection done then. Have an inspection done at the time that the foundation's poured. Have a framing inspection done, have an electrical inspection done at sheetrock when that's done, and then prior to closing, they can also test everything in the home, all the appliances that are installed, make sure all that's working, make sure that you don't have any leaks and things like that. You want to address as much as you can, even though that builder's going to give you typically here what's known as a 1-2-10 warranty, 1 year for everything from from top to bottom, from the roof to the foundation. Then the second year, typically it's your electrical, your HVAC, your plumbing, and then after that, typically you have the 10-year foundation or structural warranty. So those are great things. Number six, when you're building, the builder's going to tell you it takes X number of months to build a home, and that's their goal. And here I see anywhere from 4 months to 8 months for typical non-custom constructions. The word I'm looking for, sorry. So say there's bad weather, contractors don't show up, they do a poor job, or there's material shortages, we have an extra wet winter, things like that. We have storms come through, that can affect the close date. So you need to keep that in mind, especially if you're selling an existing home. Maybe you can talk to